Hello dear viewers, today is a video all about Pilby, one of my favorite NPCs in this game. Always kind to Hornet, always tender and very gentle with everyone he interacts with. And Pilby has a lot of outcomes in his life that you can control as Hornet. Pilby can die in Bone Bottom, or Pilby can survive Bone Bottom and make it all the way to Pilgrim's Rest. And once Pilby is in Pilgrim's Rest, he can also die there due to your actions, or he can survive there due to your actions. Essentially, we've always had full control over what happens to Pilby in this game, but what if we're too late? What if we've already killed the Skull Tyrant, and ever sitting on this bench in Bone Bottom could immediately spell Pilby's demise? Well, I don't want to accept that for once. And as you can see in my inventory, dear viewer, I have already killed the Skull Tyrant in this playthrough. So if I ever want to be a part of Bone Bottom again and have the ability to sit down here, I need to make sure that when that Skull Tyrant comes rushing across the right side of the screen, that I can kill him before he reaches Pilby. Because if you remember the exact sequence of events here, Pilby doesn't die the second the enemy spawns. He has to run across the screen. Of course, this is what happens when you don't kill him. Very sad. It's important to set a baseline so everyone understands what we're trying to prevent here, right? It's okay. This Pilby is not going to last long in this state, because I'm not going to let this Hornet last long in this state either. You may see in the top left corner of the screen that this is a Steel Soul file. So by letting Pilby die, we are also letting this entire run die. The point being, I'm going to come back with as much offensive power as I can to try and stop the Skull Tyrant from killing Pilby. And if you enjoy this video, please leave a like and subscribe to Killroy Was Here. Now let's go save him. So, when it comes to saving Pilby, the name of the game is damage. Defense does nothing. We cannot prevent the Skull Tyrant from running over Pilby. We can put a ton of damage in the way though. I wanted to just stack infinite tacks to kill him, but as you can see, Team Cherry made it so that putting down more than 4 tacks deletes the oldest one. So that pretty much botches that whole idea, and that made me sad because I wanted to put down 1,000 tacks and just instantly kill the Skull Tyrant, but we have to settle for 4. And then beyond that, other than using the Sting Shard, we also want to make our Needle as powerful because we'll get a few hits in using things like the Barb Bracelet, getting all the upgrades we possibly can. I have the Shell Satchel, which would have been useful if we could stack more than 4 of any tool at a given time. Because even though I have the Sting Shard on and the tool damage upgraded, you also can only put out 3 Sting Shards. And because you can only have Pilby in Bone Bottom in Act 1, I only have 1 upgrade for my Needle. Essentially, we are really not kitted out, and I would be more worried about that, except for what you're going to see, dear viewer. And part of what you're going to see is me making a lot of mistakes with the Sting Shards here, and that's just me being dumb. But I could have made it up in a better way, but I don't really think it would have helped too much, because even with maximum tool damage, maximum tool capacity, maximum needle damage, and the perfect output to get as much damage as possible on every needle strike in this game, I don't know if we can get even close to the amount of damage it needs to kill this Skull Tyrant in the very few seconds we get here. You see, I did a grand total of 60 damage to him, and given like 2 more seconds, the tacks already did more damage than everything together. That is because tacks and the rest of these tools are made for stationary enemies who stay in a place at a given time. But when the Skull Tyrant is just running across the screen once, and he doesn't stay for more than like 2 seconds anywhere, it's really hard to get a massive damage burst out on him. So maybe, instead of what in-game tools allow us, we can use some outside help to kill this beast. Lenny always talks up how Pale Oil is so great for making needles better, but I think he underestimates the most useful ability in upgrading your needle damage in Silksong: having access to mods. Yes, I think it'll be very easy to see if we can save Pilby's life when we have power like this, ladies and gentlemen. So I do want to say before testing this out, it may be possible to deal the 450 damage in a quick burst, but I just wanted to make sure that killing him was possible before even testing that out. And as you're going to learn very soon, my dear viewer, and very sadly, no matter how much damage you have, you cannot stop this beast from running. The game kind of breaks when you do kill him though, and does this, and it gives him that health bar that you could see at the bottom of the screen, which is so massive that it just looks like it's underflowed, which is why I believe all my hits are healing him at this point. The game is not meant to be able to let you kill this creature. So even if you can get enough damage to do 450 damage to the Skull Tyrant while he is running off the screen and before the boss fight starts, it doesn't save Pilby. He will just continue running even when he is dead, like a zombie. Because Team Cherry, in their sadistic wisdom, made it so that even the power of one-shots is not enough to save Pilby's life here. They decided once you have killed a single Skull Tyrant, Pilby's life is almost forfeit. The only way you can save him at this point is to never sit at this bench, and unless you knew that the first time you played Hollow Knight Silksong, you're basically just guaranteed to let him die, which is horrible. What a horrible thing to do to all your players, Team Cherry. Please, it's just... I'm not serious, by the way. I am serious. You know what? I am. Pilby deserved a better life than this, Team Cherry, and that is why I make videos like this, to grant him this life. And in case you didn't notice while I was talking, that first Skull Tyrant we killed, completely unrelated to the actual Skull Tyrant. It seems he only exists as a boss after he's killed Pilby and given his little scream that introduces himself. So in order to get revenge against Pilby, I'm going to use my new powers and just throw this guy into the dirt, because he does not deserve to live after cheating death once before. Well, the sad news is, you cannot save Pilby at Bone Bottom once this creature is on the screen. If the Skull Tyrant has entered his vicinity, Pilby is dead. But there is one other location where someone comes on the screen and kills Pilby, and I have a lot more faith that we can actually protect him from that beast. The Rhino Grund that you can let out, which will invade Pilgrim's Rest. I'm sure a lot of people had this experience in their playthrough, where they came to this room with the enemy hitting the wall, and they hit the lever before the enemy died, letting the Rhino Grund escape. And if you've let that enemy escape, then you've given that enemy a chance in the future to come into this door and try and kill the people inside. Of course, the only person he will ever actually be able to kill is Pilby, because Team Cherry cannot let this man have a peaceful life. Even when they say he's made it here, he says he's not quite unharmed, nature of the journey, but he's still optimistic. What a beautiful, wholesome creature that we can try and actually save this time, and I mean that genuinely. I think there's a great chance to save him from the Rhino Grund here. But the Rhino Grund won't spawn as something for you to deal with for Pilby unless you've let him go through that lever. You haven't killed him, obviously, because he is one of the enemies that doesn't respawn in this game. And you've used your attacks to kind of break open this entire rest. You see, when you normally have to pay to enter here, there's a door mechanism on the inside that you can break and make it so that the locked door never exists anymore. Pilby won't come in here unless the locked door exists, but once it does exist, we need to break it. I don't know why the mechanism's not here for me to break, but I'm going to show you what happens when you do break it and come back in here. If the Rhino Grund was released and the Pilgrim's Rest is not protected by the lock of a door, then Pilby will be in there, and he will be in there terrorizing Mort. And Pilby has a great chance to die here if you let this enemy get anywhere near him. But fortunately for us, we have Pax, the Architect Crest, and the full ability to save Pilby's life by keeping the enemy away from him for once. He doesn't really have much to say about it, but you can save his life. And really, it just seems no one cares. Mort especially doesn't care. Mort was in imminent danger, and we directly saved his life. And if we talk to him, nothing to say. No thank you, no nothing. He is... I can't stand Mort, you know? And you know why? Because I'm going to show you what happens when I do let Pilby die. So, Terrible thing, I know, but I do have to show off all the realities. Once again, very sad. The second he touches Pilby, there goes his body. But what's even worse about this, you see Mort huddling here. If you play the needle in here, Mort will break out of his crying state and just go back to normal. And when you stop playing it, he no longer even cares. He has no... What is going on with this man? And what is going on with any of these NPCs? Because I'm pretty sure this is just something Team Cherry didn't think about. You can play your needle in, put them in their singing animation, and they'll forget that they're in fear for their life. So yeah, Mort, I do have a problem with you doing all this. And I'm going to talk to him again, and I'm pretty sure he's just not going to care. Yep, nope. Doesn't care that we saved his life. Thanks, Mort. Pilby's dead. So yeah, maybe you could understand a bit of my very clear and potent rage versus Mort. But who cares about saving Mort? I did this to save Pilby. And one of the best things Pilby can do for you is sing with you. I adore his singing voice. Even though Pilby won't be found in the game after this, which does make me sad, I'm going to end this video with a tribute to all of the Pilbys I've lost and all of the Pilbys everyone else has lost over the course of their runs. Thank you everyone for watching. Please, all love and respect to Pilby from all viewers of my audience. One of the greatest NPCs of Hollow Knight Silksong. I will see you in the next video. And make sure to love and help Pilby whenever you can in your own playthroughs.